Lesson 2.4, Multiplying Integers. The product of two integers with the same sign is always positive. Think about it. 3 times 5, which are both positive numbers, would equal positive 15. Negative 4 times negative 6 would equal 24. Same sign, both negative, would equal positive 24. The product of two integers with different signs, 3 times negative 5, would be negative 15. Different signs equals negative answer, no matter where the negative is. Negative 4 times 6 would equal negative 24. Again, it may help you to write down or underline the fact that the same sign is always positive. Different signs are always negative. You drop a rock into the ocean. The rock's depth is changing by negative 3 feet per second. If you drop the rock at sea level, which is 0, what is the position of the rock after 30 seconds? We can use the distance formula, distance equals rate times time, to find the answer. The rate is negative 3, and we knew that because it said feet per second in the problem. Anytime you're using feet per second or per, it's a rate. You multiply that by the time, well, 30 seconds. 3 times 30, and 3 times 3 is 9. Add a 0 for the 30. And they're different signs, so it's negative 90. The position of the rock relative to sea level is negative 90. Find the position of the rock relative to sea level after 45 seconds. Remember to use distance equals rate times time, and the rate is the same as it was in the previous problem. The time is 45 seconds. Pause the video and solve the problem. For number 1, we do 45 times 3. This is 15, carry the 1. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Different signs would make this negative 135 feet. The multiplication property of 0. So these are new properties that we are learning. Anytime you multiply a number with 0, you are going to get 0. Negative 2 times 0 is 0. 1,000 times 0 equals 0. Negative 25 times 0 is 0. Any number multiplied by 0 is 0. That's the multiplication property of 0. The identity property, so this is another property, says the product of a number and 1 is that same integer. So 7 times 1 equals 7. 8 times 1 equals 8. 100 times 1 equals 100. That's the identity property. Example 2. Multiplying 2 or more integers. What is 1 times 10? 10. Different signs, so the product is negative. You should be able to determine if something is negative or positive before you even answer the problem. Same sign for B, so the answer should be positive. 9 times 4 is positive 36. Negative 12 times 0, this is the multiplication property of 0, which says the answer is 0. For problem D, we need to multiply from left to right. What's 5 times negative 11? 5 times 11 is 55. Different signs make negative. Multiply by 1, and you'll get negative 55, because multiplying by 1 is the identity property. Evaluating an expression with integers, for example 3. Evaluate or solve negative 4 times b minus a squared when you know a equals negative 8 and b equals negative 12. Okay, let's separate the problem. This is the problem. The work is on the right. I am going to substitute in b, which is negative 12. Remember that you want to put the parentheses to show that you are multiplying. And then a would be negative 8 squared. Evaluate the power. Now be careful, because negative 8 squared would be negative 8 times negative 8. 8 times 8 is 64, and it's positive because two negatives make a positive. Now let's change negative 4 times negative 12. Let's simplify. 4 times 12 is 48. Same sign, equals positive 48. Now bring down the 64. Here we have subtraction. Remember, subtraction, we keep the first number the same, we add the opposite. So 48 stays 48, subtraction becomes addition, and 64 becomes negative 64. Now we add. Well, because they're different signs though, we are technically going to subtract the two. Can't take 8 from 4, so let's borrow from the 6. Make that 14. This becomes 6. This becomes 1. And which number was bigger, the 48 or the 64 without ignoring the signs? With ignoring the signs? It would be negative 16. For number 2 through 5, find the product. Remember, same sign equals a positive answer. Different sign equals a negative answer. Number 2. Oh, please pause the video if you have not done so already. Number 2. Negative 1 times 5. 5 times 1 is 5. Different signs equals negative 5. Number 3. 8 times 0, anything multiplied by 0, is 0. Negative 7 times negative 12. Do 12 times 7. 14, carry the 1. 84. Same sign, both negative, it would equal positive 84. Number 5, let's go left to right. 2 times 10 is 20. Both negative, so it's positive 20. Bring down the negative 9. What's 9 times 2? Okay, the trick is just to kind of ignore the 0. 9 times 2 is 18. Bring down the 0 now, and because they're different, it should be negative 180. For 6 through 9, you need to evaluate the expression knowing that A is 4, B is negative 5, and C is negative 6. Remember to use your parentheses. This should be 4 times negative 6 minus B, which is negative 5. Pause the video and solve the problem. If you need help figuring out where the numbers go, pause the video after I show you how to substitute the numbers in, and then do the problem by yourself. First thing I want to do is get rid of this subtraction. So I'm going to change, this all stays the same on the left. I'm going to change the subtraction to adding, and the opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. Now I'm going to multiply first using order of operations. 4 times 6 is 24. Different signs make negative. Bring down the plus 5. I am adding different signs, so I need to subtract. 24 minus 5. Borrow from the 2, make this a 14. This becomes 19. 24 is the bigger number, has the bigger absolute value, so this is a negative 19. Number 7. 4 times C, which is negative 6, and then add B, which is negative 5. You can see this is going to be a different answer than 6 because one was subtracting, one is adding. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. Add negative 5. This is the same sign, so I just add 24 plus 5, which is 29. You're adding. Remember, you're adding, which means two negatives actually make a negative. The trick is to remember the rules enough that you can apply them when needed. And adding the same sign, you keep that same sign. It is a different answer if you put positive 29. 8, a is 4 squared plus b is negative 5 times c, which is negative 6. Okay, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. 4 squared, 4 times 4 is 16. Bring down everything else. Now I'm deciding between multiplication or adding, so I multiply. What is negative 5 times negative 6? That's positive 30. Remember, same sign when multiplying, you keep it as positive. Now you add 16, which is 46. Number 9, a is 4, b is negative 5, minus c, which is negative 6, and we're going to square the negative 6. Okay, let's solve the power first, which is negative 6 times negative 6. Two negatives, same sign, makes a positive. Bring down subtraction, bring down the negative 5, bring down 4. Let's change subtraction so we don't get too confused at this point. Everything on the left stays the same. This becomes adding, and then 36 is the opposite, which is negative. Multiply first. 4 times 5 is 20. Different signs when multiplying. Negative plus negative 36. Same sign, so we just add, which is 56. And because they're both negative, be careful, it's adding in between, it's a negative 56. If you need to go back and check your work, please go back and try to figure out how I got the numbers that I did. It's very important that you know exactly when to do what rules. When is it going to be multiplying and getting different signs as negative versus adding where same sign that are both negative is also negative. You need to be able to apply the rules and know the difference when you're adding versus multiplying.